Hey, what up, y'all? You know what it is. We back again with another episode. Two cap,
Two caps,
no
no
cap.
cap. Yeah.
Back again. You already
hmm
know who it is. Adam, aka Irate Specialist.
hmm
You know
What's
the vibes. What's good?
what's good? Wesley, the actor, ATM, cash out. You know the vibes. You know the vibes. Today is that day. Today we are gonna change the world. But remember, everything that we say is just from our experience. We're
Mm-hmm.
not talking about anything that you should like. You obviously have the opportunity to choose your own fate,
hmm
but we're just giving you an option.
Yeah.
Yeah. So today we just want to talk a little bit about like oh what it means to share each other's burdens. Like now I realized recently that there's a lot of people in America and even the world who don't really make a lot of money to support their family. And like they could be the smartest person in the world, have a whole degree, have worked two jobs and not even barely make ends meet. You know what I mean? And when we're able to help out that individual and just in something, it doesn't even have to be like monetarily, but just like even if you just help that person out just by like talking to them during the day or something simple like that, you know, just that simpleness can change that person's life. Just with that simple talk. Just sharing that burden, letting them speak about what's going on, because sometimes things are heavy on people's chests.
Just that simple talk for real. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And but besides that, yeah, I feel you, like sharing the burden. When I think of that, I think of teamwork, and I think of the three of discs in Patrick
Mm-hmm.
Row, because that part is about doing work, but not let's say not being envious of others that have done the work that you've done, but instead learning from them, you know and it's all about teamwork basically, like saying, if we talking about sharing the burdens, that's like saying I need to create this project and I know I can only go so far by myself. So, in order to get it to like beyond my wildest dreams, I know I'm gonna have to work with a couple different people, look at the masters, maybe like try and get, in touch with the masters and have them teach me some of their tricks and all that. And then, have that team, have that structure to fucking go and create exactly what it is that I envision, you know
Mm-hmm.
and that's what is so powerful to have like a team, just to keep 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 you on the path, because like when you're all striving with something together, all striving for something together, then when you just don't even question it, you just work towards it because everybody's on the same accord.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that kind of reminds me of this concept. I mean, we talked about this a little bit before, but moving a mountain. Somebody's burden can literally be a mountain on that person's shoulders. You know what I mean? But if that person is by themselves trying to move that mountain off of their back, literally crawling on the ground, trying to make sure that they can move their mountain. Sometimes if you're crawling with them, and that simpleness that has nothing to do with a money thing. It's just helping them literally lighten their load. Because we realize that we're people just like everyone else. Every person is a person just like you and I. And if we understand that we're all people and we see somebody struggling, why not help that individual? We don't know what that person is going through. We don't know what that person is doing, but like if we help lighten their load just by a little bit, it's just like whoa, they have this freedom to be themselves again. They have freedom to be comfortable again. And sometimes it's so hard for us to become comfortable because the burden is so heavy. But we just have to take on this burden to help other individuals. Now, of course, there's no guarantee that this person will also help us with our load.
Mhm.
That's also something to remember. But we have to realize though, it's not about just us. When we help somebody else's load, our goal is to lose our ego or lose our self to 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 our selfishness where we don't want to help anybody except for ourselves. But when we're unselfish, when we become able to see through the impurities of life, we realize that we can live in unconditional love and share that burden, and then we can share also the burden of unconditional love to each and every person around us
Mhm.
as we help them share their physical, maybe spiritual, maybe mental burdens. We can also help them and also help us by sharing our burdens of unconditional love that overflows within us
Mhm.
as we breathe. You know
Mhm.
what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. It also
Mm-hmm.
goes back to the breath. But yeah,
Exactly.
you know, um, sharing the burden is really just like you were saying, like sharing that unconditional love with each other because we see that in each other, and it's something that's like hard to see
Mm-hmm.
right now. But I feel like this is exactly the time when that type of energy is needed the most
Mm-hmm.
because, when all this stuff, all this, karmic energy is being stirred up and we're being forced to address, the negative side of, the whole equation. That's a lot of, heavy weight to bear.
Mm-hmm.
So we definitely have to take our piece of it and, not saying that, we are the cause of any particular thing individually, but just acknowledging that everything that's currently happening inside in the world is just really a reflection of what's going on inside ourselves, you
Mm-hmm.
know, turning it
Mm-hmm.
inward and seeing, all these different type of even conspiracy theories, all that type of stuff is really pointing us to a place inside ourselves where we are damaged or we need more care or we need to heal some trauma. And from there, that's where we truly understand what our power is, that unconditional love, that sharing the burden, of, being kind to others and
Mm-hmm.
caring for others because you see you see that they are a part of yourself. You see that they are an extension of yourself. So yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
definitely.
That kind of reminds me of like this story. And I was reading it in one of the historic text, but I guess a really important figure in that text told the story. So I'm just gonna call him just go with the story. Yeah. But I'm not gonna say any names of the different types of people because I don't remember the different types of names. But one day, this man was riding down a mountain, and this mountain was, let's say, his destination was about 50 miles, but he was walking. He was walking with his like horse or whatever. He was walking with it because it's a long walk, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, somehow he gets his horse like he gets a heart attack and it falls on top of him, right? And he's not unable to move because his horse is really big and he's a really small guy. Right. So the first guy, who's actually walking the opposite way of where the guy was going, he looks at him and then he goes to the other side of the road and keeps walking. Right. There's a second person who's going the same direction as that guy. He looks at him and he's just like, I don't have the time to help this individual. So he keeps walking. Now the third guy, he comes up to him, right? And he's just like, yo, I see that this person now mind you, he's going in the opposite direction of this guy. He sees this guy like under this horse. He makes sure that he takes the horse off. He helps this individual get up. He puts this person in a hotel and he says, listen, yo, he tells the person who's in charge of the hotel, um, make sure that you take him to his room and anything that he needs, I'm gonna take care of. Right. For as long as how long it might take. And this is the thing, this is a very extreme example, right? But what I'm trying to say is, even though there are people in this world who might not care to help a person with their burden, with their load, as long as you yourself are willing to help another individual, and obviously to the best of your ability, but as long as you are able to help another individual, why not help them? You
Mm.
know, if you have the means to at least help them,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And it could be something as simple as just helping that person get off the dead horse. You know what I mean? It doesn't necessarily have to be, put that person where they need to be and pay for as long however long it means, but like help that person at least get their burden off of them, you know? So
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
that was a good story. It
Oh yeah.
reminds me of like the card that we were discussing today, which is
Mm-hmm.
the six of discs. We're in the suit of discs, which is the physical realm.
Mm-hmm.
And it's represented by Earth. But the six is the key word for the six in this deck is generosity. You know,
Mm-hmm.
giving to others and sharing with others from a place that is balanced, you know, knowing how much you can share, knowing how much to share, and, being sure that, not only are you giving to help this person out, but you're giving without really expecting much in return because
Mm-hmm.
it's what you want to do. It's what brings harmony. It's what brings peace, what brings balance to the situation, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really, yeah, it really relates a lot to, like exactly what you were just saying. Like the last guy was, being like more than generous to this guy,
Mm-hmm.
help him up, help put him up in a nice hotel, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And like you were saying, you don't even have to do all that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's just helping them up. Sometimes it's just having a conversation with them. Sometimes it's
Mm-hmm.
just sitting with somebody and listening to them. Sometimes it's just sitting with somebody and
Yeah.
being with their energy, like that's lifting the burden. That's the little things that you can do to, help people without even having to, if you broke, you don't need to spend money to help someone
Mm-hmm.
share the burden. It's,
Exactly.
it's really about the subtle things that we don't talk about that really have the greatest impact. Like one nice like they always talk about like that guy who committed suicide, and like the day he was gonna do it, like he was about to jump off a bridge or something, and like the day he was gonna do it was he wrote a letter, and he was like, I wouldn't. I told myself if one person smiled at me today, I wouldn't do it. And he ended up jumping off the bridge because nobody smiled at him. You
Mm.
know,
It's
and
horrible.
exactly. It's just sad. If one person just took a second out of their day to just like give a man a smile,
Mm-hmm.
that could have changed his whole life. You know,
Wow.
and yeah, what are you gonna say?
No, I said that's wild.
Yeah, yeah, it is wild. And
Mm-hmm.
you know but just going back to it, like that's what it means, like the little things sometimes have the greatest impact, especially when like we're talking about sharing the burden and helping others to relieve some of their pain, you know.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah. So let's actually real quick before we close out talk a little bit about what are some practical ways that we can just be a light to individuals who are living in darkness.
Hmm.
You know, would you like to go first? Or
Yeah. Yeah,
okay,
okay. I'll list up. All right. I'm gonna start with three and then see if I have any more.
okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
I got. I'm gonna
so
think of a few.
one way, like top three ways I could say you can share your light with others. I would have to say number one is definitely, you know, listening, like actually listening to somebody when they're speaking, you know,
Hmm.
like, and not multitasking or trying to do something else or like, half listening or like hearing the person speak at you, but not actually opening your ears and listening to what they have to say, but actually genuinely taking in what they're saying, taking in the energy they're giving off, taking in everything that, every word that comes out, because every word has a meaning to it. And really, hearing somebody, listening to somebody has, so much power, you know, just like for that person, because after that, they'll know and they'll feel heard. And that can definitely lift the burden off somebody. Number two, I would have to say, just checking in on somebody, random checking on something like that. Just like hit somebody up, even if you don't know if they've been struggling, just hit them up randomly, be like, yo, what's up? You good? Haven't heard from you in a while. I love you still. You the homie, or you the homette for my ladies. Nah, just kidding. But
The
yeah.
homie.
But yeah, and then just checking in with your peoples and just making sure that they're good. And I would have to say the third thing is just smiling. You know, like we got to bring it back to the basics.
Hmm.
It takes more muscles in your face to frown than to smile.
Mm.
So
You're gonna have a
remember
really
that.
fit face.
Exactly. So smiling, just
Hmm.
smile at everybody. Try to smile at everyone. you know
Hmm. Even through the mask.
exactly. No, dead
Even
ass,
through
I
the
be
mask.
smiling through the mask, like people don't even see it. I be smiling at them.
Hmm.
you
They
know
gonna feel it.
exactly.
They gonna feel it. I
Hopefully.
Oh yeah, I said, and I like the first one that you were talking about, because one of the things that I learned is that we have two ears and one mouth, right? So why not listen twice as much as we speak?
And one other thing about that too is,
Hmm.
like you could close your eyes, you could close your mouth, but you can't
Hmm.
close your ears.
Hmm.
You know, listening is always important.
Hmm. We can,
you know,
yeah, it's the same with breathing too. You
exactly.
know, we can't close our nostrils up, you know, because it's that important, you know. So, sheesh. But yeah, I like that one. But I feel one of the things that I like to do is sort of like bless people with my divine energy. And what I mean by my divine energy, now I'm not saying that my ego has created this energy, but more or less um, the spirituality within me is the same spirituality within people. But I just want to show them how comfortable it feels to be in that. So when you show somebody that comfortability in that spirituality, it's almost like they also have that same ability to be comfortable in their spirituality. Because everybody's spirituality journey is different. But if we're going in the right direction, we'll see each other in the next one. You know what I mean? So it's like all of it is connected, but it's about where that person would like to go or where their spirituality journey is leading them. But if you bless them with your understanding of what spirituality is, you're able to show that person through from your eyes, obviously, but they can see through you to your spirituality, to their spirituality. It's sort of like this thing that they do in yoga. At the end of every yoga session, they say, "The light in me salutes the light in you."
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like I salute the light within me to salute the light within you. Because each one of us are on the spiritual journey. Each one of us are still breathing for a reason. So my thing is, I feel sharing the burden and bringing it all together would be letting them know that there's more to life than the material that we see around us.
Mm-hmm.
That there's more to life than the time that's allotted to us, because time is a man-made construct, not a divine-made construct. You know, because I feel like a divine energy
Well,
would
I feel
act.
like
Yeah,
time, the way that we conceive it, is a man-made
yeah, that's what I
construct.
mean. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, like they would see it completely outside of
yeah,
the spectrum in which we see the time.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like it would operate in the past, present, and the future, but
Mhm.
we, being the material, because we're literally made of mud. We being the material, literally live in the present. We are the present. You know, like it's crazy. But just letting people know about like their history, their origin, like where we all originate from. Because if we understand like our mother, literally, our spiritual mother or our spiritual father, whatever, if we understand who that divine energy is, we realize that we come from a divine energy. And giving that divine energy to somebody who doesn't understand their own light, which is that divine energy, which it is inside each and every individual, you know, then they can see themselves.
Mhm.
Because right now, I feel like if we pay so much attention to the world, we don't see what we look like.
Yeah,
We're so focused on that mirror instead of looking inside at our heartbeat. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So
Facts, bro.
yeah.
Facts.
Oh yeah.
That's some bars for the people.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. You know, we got some songs coming out for y'all, you
Mm-hmm.
know, later on in the
I'm
future.
trying
Just
to
so
teach
y'all
you to
know.
live in a moment. You know what
Oh
I'm
yeah.
saying?
I live in the moment. You want to hear it out? SoundCloud.com/bank account. You know the
Mm-hmm.
vibes. As you know, it's featuring IRA specialist. So you know it's about. You know it's about. But yeah, check that out. And obviously check out iRate Specialist SoundCloud as well. You know, we're gonna put some links in the description for the
We on all
Spotify.
streaming platforms as well. You know,
Oh yeah. Oh
not
yeah.
just SoundCloud.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
Uh,
yeah,
thank y'all all so much for coming. And
thank
y'all
you.
have a blessed day.
Have a good day, night, morning, afternoon, wherever you are, wherever
Mm-hmm.
you are.
Mm-hmm.
Peace.
Peace.